Hello, I am Ransom Ryder. I'm in the kitchen today. I'm going to be making a really phenomenal bundt cake. I haven't made this in a really long time. The last time I made this, I was with my grandmother and she steered the boat. She was the one in charge adding the ingredients. I'm going to try to duplicate what she did with this fast and easy bundt cake recipe. Now I want to start with 2 sticks of butter. This is 1 cup of real butter, unsalted. I'm going to bring my mixer over. I happen to have it handy. This is a hand mixer. You could use a stand mixer on this. Let's put the sugar in. And check my recipe on the amount of the ingredients that I'm using here. I want to whip the sugar and the butter together. The butter was at room temperature, which will aid in my mixing of the butter. And I could have probably brought this up a little bit warmer. My room is not super warm right now. My temperature here is in the room is about 70 degrees. I could have popped this over at the oven and it would have continued to warm up just a little bit to make it easier to blend the sugar and the butter together because I want this well blended. But my mixer will take care of this quickly. And I am mixing on like a low, you need to do this on a low to medium speed. I have a nice big bowl. It should keep anything from flying out into the kitchen and making a mess. If you were like me, the fewer bowls and utensils, the better. Now, when I do this for a video, I do tend to utilize more bowls, spoons, utensils than what I normally would if I were just making it here at home. If you were here hanging out with me, you and I would actually make it a game to see who could use the least amount of bowls and utensils. All right, this is coming together nicely. I want to continue to whip it. All right, now I have that blended well. I'm going to get my spatula and just scrape down the bowl. I want all of this to be fully incorporated. Scraping down the bowl is just one of those necessary things you have to do for a good recipe. You want it to turn out tasty and delicious, so you need to scrape down the bowl. All right, the bowl has been scraped. Let's give it another little bit of a whip. All right, that is thick. It's a thick consistency. I have here some eggs. I'm going to break my eggs, and I will be adding these one at a time. Your eggs, you want to practice egg safety. You don't want to break these into your bowl because what if an egg is bad? It would be so hard to get out the egg, and you possibly could not get all the egg out. So you would have to start over. You don't want a bad egg. Now, I will say that as long as I have been cooking, I have maybe cracked 1 or 2 bad eggs, but it's always best to be safe because you can just crack these. In that one goes. I'll crack another one. It looks good. And you do need to add these one at a time. You wouldn't be able to crack them all into the small bowl because you could actually contaminate with the bad egg the eggs you already have in the small bowl. So 1 into my mixing bowl at a time, and then we're going to mix these until blended. And part of that egg safety, I have just thoroughly washed my hands because I did touch this egg. Let's get this mixed in. Now, my eggs are at room temperature because if the refrigerator cold, they will harden your butter back up. All right, I've beat the 1 egg. Let's get the 2nd egg in. Many of you may be looking at that egg and thinking, wow, that is a dark egg. That simply means that the chicken had a really nutritious diet. The dark egg like that, the dark yolk, when you see it come out and it's that orange, that deep orange, it means they had a nutritious diet, probably filled with foods that the chicken loves. All right, that's 2 eggs. I've got 2 more. I'm going to pause that for a moment. Let's crack another one. Let's put this in. 1 more to go. Crack. And even the shells on these eggs are thick, which really means they had a proper amount of calcium. safety, I'm going to wash my hands. We'll continue to beat. I do like to add the eggs one at a time. That allows me to keep everything easily worked, and it gives me a good consistency. It continues to blend the sugar with the butter. Ooh, I can smell this already. Let's add the last egg. I have used all butter in this. I plan on eating this, serving it when it's still slightly warm with a cup of coffee. And I do like a full butter. You definitely could go, the part butter and then part like a vegetable oil, a very light tasting oil. But I like the butter. I'm all about the butter in these mixtures, especially desserts, cakes. All right, that's looking good. And then we're gonna move right on in. I'm gonna whip the chocolate in. Check that recipe for the amount of chocolate. This is a milk chocolate. I pulled this out of a really high quality, good milk chocolate bar. Use the kind of chocolate that you love. I do tend to prefer the really dark chocolates, but this is a nice, good quality milk chocolate. Let's whip that in. And you could definitely use like a chocolate chip of your choice. You could even do a half semi-sweet, but this was a full milk chocolate. And I did warm that up and just had that melted slightly, ready to go. Not hot enough to cook my eggs, just warmed up where I could easily get it out of the bowl and where it would blend with my ingredients. Now I want to make sure that this is whipped to a nice consistency, because coming up I'm going to be adding the flour to this. And then as always, I want to come in, scrape my bowl down, make sure that chocolate, sugar, butter, eggs have all combined. While I'm mixing this, I have my oven preheating at 325 degrees. Be sure you check your bundt cake as it's baking, because ovens can vary based on the oven, the altitude. You just want to keep a watch on it. Don't let your bundt cake go too long and burn. Now this is 1 cup of full fat buttermilk. Let's mix it in. This buttermilk is going to give an excellent depth of flavor, and it is at room temperature. Again, it makes these ingredients easier to whip. I'm just going to take my little spatula, go in. This is my little chocolate spatula, and make sure I get all that buttermilk out. Now, growing up, my grandparents, my mother and my father loved buttermilk. I, on the other hand, do not drink buttermilk just straight out of the container, but I do love it in recipes. What do you think? Do you still drink buttermilk? Have you ever had buttermilk? Let me know, leave a comment. Boy, I am so glad I brought my big bowl in. All right, in goes a pinch of salt. This is about a teaspoon. Salt will balance your flavors. It really allows all the flavors to shine, and it will just be great with that chocolate and the ingredients that we have in here. I want a little bit of baking soda put in, and I'm going to thoroughly mix this. And then I'm going to come in with a little bit of vanilla flavor, about a teaspoon or more. I always like a little bit more than what the recipe calls for, because I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Vanilla flavor, it's delicious. All right, I am just going to continue to whip. Remember, we want a really good batter. And then I'm going to put in a little secret ingredient that I love to use in a chocolate bundt cake. This is an instant espresso powder. This is coffee. And what the coffee does is it allows the chocolate to taste more chocolatey. Coffee and chocolate, they were made for each other. Let's put that into the flour. I'm going to bring my flour over, and I'm going to give that a whisk. And then I'm going to start adding the flour in. And I have a couple of more ingredients. I have some chocolate syrup. And I have some chopped pecans. I love a few pecans in my bundt cake, my chocolate bundt cake. I'm Southern. I can't help myself. I love pecans. All right, let's get a little bit of the flour in. I'm gonna mix in half of this. I'm gonna start out at a low speed so that I do not make a mess with the flour. And this is a plain flour. Remember, I did add the baking soda. Ooh, this smells good. This smells so good. I hope my bundt pan can contain all of it. This is gonna be absolutely delicious. All right, in goes the last of my flour and espresso. Now my batter is starting to thicken up. I don't wanna really overmix that. Let's get this chocolate syrup in. Now I just wanna mix this until the flour is fully incorporated. I don't want to overmix because it could get tough and chewy. And I am going to finish this off just hand mixing. Let me get the big spatula here. Let's hand mix this until just all the flour tends to disappear out of the bowl. Now, I know there's controversy about how you say it. Pecans, pecans, pecan, pecans. How do you say it? Leave me a comment. Let me know how you say it. Back home where I grew up in the Smoky Mountains of North Carolina, these are pecans. Let's mix them in. Oh, I am just not believing this. Give me a spoon right now. The thing about these mixtures, you really have to be careful with flour, because I love cookie dough, and I do make a delicious raw cookie dough, but the flour, you have to heat your flour to 165 degrees Fahrenheit to make sure that any bacteria would be destroyed. Now, this is looking fantastic. I'm gonna bring over my bundt pan. I have pre-sprayed this. This was an oil with a powder in it, a flour. It's a baker's version of the spray, because sometimes you can get a sticky bundt cake. And because my bundt cake form is actually ridged, I could not put a liner in this. If you had a flat bottom and flat sides, you could line it. This one can't be lined, so I sprayed it heavily. Let's get this mixture in. You know, I really often was told in the kitchen growing up when I was cooking, cook whatever you want, just try to make it edible, and don't leave a mess. Don't leave a mess. My parents were so good, and my grandmom, she would not have been able to resist getting into the kitchen with me. She and I, we did a lot of cooking. My grandmother was a phenomenal cook, and she had so much fun inside the kitchen. All right, now I did get a little bit on the side. I'm just gonna take that off with the napkin. And then before I put this into my preheated oven, I wanna give this a good tap just to make sure there's no air bubbles, because this thicker batter actually could capture and hold air. So I did tap that. You could also take your knife or a fork and make sure that there's no bubbles that they've released. But I've tapped it. It looks good. It's evened out. Let's put this into the oven. Let's let it bake. Usually these take about an hour to an hour and 20 minutes, but keep a watch on it. Ovens are different. Altitude comes into play. How your oven works, definitely you want to watch it. I'll be back with you in moments, and we're going to eat this chocolate bundt cake. Don't go anywhere. I am fresh out of the oven with my bundt cake. I need to let this cool down for about 15 minutes, and we'll be ready to turn it over, and I'm hoping it doesn't stick. We've all been on that journey. You put a lot of time into a cake, a lot of effort, and whammo, it sticks in the bottom of the pan. Here's hoping this one doesn't. I'll be right back. It has been 15 minutes. I'm going to take my cooling rack. I'm going to place this on the top of my bundt pan. I've got my big mittens on. It's still very hot. And be safe in the kitchen. Be safe. Use your mittens. Let's turn this over and give it a hope. Oh my gosh. Success. It feels so good. It feels so good. All right. Now I'm going to let this cool down for just a few more minutes. And we're going to cut this thing and take a bite. It looks absolutely beautiful. Now, you could use a little bit of powdered sugar on the top of this. You could cover it in a chocolate icing. I have a little bit of chocolate syrup. I'm going to pour this on mine when I get it in the plate. We're going to let it cool for a moment. Don't go anywhere. Taste test coming up. This smells so good. It's absolutely dark and beautiful. The aroma of those chocolates. Ooh, I can't wait to get into this. All right, I'm going to take an extra sharp serrated edge and I want to cut a piece. Let's just go in. Let's go in. Ooh wee. Let me bring my plate over. Scoot this to the side. Bring my plate in. Let's take a little piece. Oh, that is hot. Oh, smell the aroma. I want to come in with just a little bit of chocolate syrup. Oh, can you believe how good that looks? Don't hold back. I know you want some. Let's give it a taste. This is going to be good. Oh, it's still hot. Smells so good. I'm going to cut you a piece as well. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, deep, rich, luscious, silky smooth, tender, moist crumb. I'm going to have another bite. Mmm. The crunch of those walnuts, the depth of the chocolate, and that little bit of espresso powder that I used in this makes this cake sing. This is a bundt cake you're going to want to make. Call your mama. She's going to need this recipe. I am Ransom Ryder. It's been a pleasure to hang out with you here in the kitchen today. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, share with your friends. The journey in the kitchen, so much better when you're hanging out with friends. Let's talk about old times. Let's talk about the good times. Let's discuss it over a piece of this chocolate, decadent bundt cake. We're going to share the memories and we're going to make new ones. I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye. This one's mine. Bye.